And I'll give the floor to the representative of Ukraine.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to thank Sierra Leone Presidency for convening today's meeting. We are also grateful to the briefers from DPPA, Ms. Kayoko Goto, and OCHA, Mr. Dan Bosorno, for their comprehensive and principled presentations. Thank you to Council members for the decisive, strong statements, despite the propaganda and manipulation and lies that come from behind the nameplate Russian Federation. Since the Council last met on Ukraine in September, the security situation in my country has worsened dramatically. As we heard from the briefers, the Russian Federation has unleashed an even more brutal campaign of terror against civilians, relentless daily missile and drone attacks. Yesterday marked yet another dark chapter in this war, one that will forever stand as a testament to Russia's vicious brutality and disregard for human life. Russian drones and missiles deliberately targeted residential buildings, the very place where people should feel safest. This latest strike involved 48 missiles, an enormous barrage, and 476 attack drones. In the city of Ternopil, a deliberate direct hit by a Russian missile has destroyed a 9-story residential building. This is what Russian attacks on military objects mean. As of today's morning, 28 people, including 3 children, have been confirmed killed and 94 injured, including 18 children. 16 people still remain missing. This is the reality Ukraine is forced to confront every single day. Attacks against children, women and elderly, families in their homes, patients in their hospitals, and teachers and students in schools. Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure, energy facilities and power grids. Deliberate attacks. Dozens of cities, hundreds of towns, and thousands of villages razed to the ground. Millions of people left without heat, light, or water during the harsh winter season. And as a result of the attack by Russia, which took place during this very meeting, at least 5 have been killed and 3 more wounded in Zaporizhia. The human toll is devastating and the destruction unimaginable. This is a systematic and deliberate policy aimed at annihilating the Ukrainian people. Culture, identity, historical heritage, and our right to exist as a free and dignified nation. This is an attempt to freeze, silence, and extinguish Ukrainian resilience. This is a state terror and genocide. Mr. President, Russia's relentless escalation is not only a military assault, but also blatant renunciation of peace itself. Every missile it launches is a statement that Moscow prefers escalation over dialogue. From the very first seconds of Russia's invasion, Ukraine has sought peace, and we support all substantive proposals capable for bringing genuine peace to get closer. Since the beginning of this year, Ukraine has supported President Trump's proposals aimed at ending the war. We are ready as before to work constructively with the American side as well as with our European partners and around the world, so that the outcome is peace. Ukraine has officially received from the American side a draft plan. We outline the fundamental principles that matter to our people. We agree to work on the plan's provisions in a way that would bring about a just end of the war. In this context, allow me to make several critical points. First, while Ukraine stands ready to engage in meaningful negotiations to end this war, including at the leaders' level, our red lines are clear and unwavering. There will never be any recognition, formal or otherwise, of Ukrainian territory temporarily occupied by the Russian Federation as Russian. Our land is not for sale. Ukraine will not accept any limits on its right to self-defense or on the size and capabilities of our armed forces. Nor will we tolerate any infringement on our sovereignty, including our sovereign right to choose the alliances we want to join. Any genuine peace process must respect a fundamental principle: nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine, and nothing about Europe without Europe. And let me be equally clear, we will not reward the genocidal intent that underpins Russian aggression by undermining our identity, including our language. Second, support for Ukraine is indispensable. Peace requires strengthened security and sustained financial assistance to Ukraine. Reinforcing Ukraine's defense capabilities is not an escalation. It is the only path to compelling Russia to engage constructively in international peace efforts. In this regard, we express profound gratitude to all partners and allies. This support is an investment in the rules-based international order and global peace. Third, the Kremlin regime will not stop unless it is stopped through unyielding and concerted pressure. There is only one realistic path to ending this war. Russia must be compelled to retreat, economically, politically, and militarily. If we fail to stop Russia now, its aggression will not end with Ukraine. It will continue to export war, occupation, and repression. It will commit more atrocities, torture, inhuman treatment of civilians and prisoners of war, widespread sexual violence, the abduction of children, the destruction of cultural heritage, and environmental devastation. Europe has lived through this before, and we must not dare forget those lessons. History will be a merciless judge if Russia is eventually rewarded of its war of aggression instead of held accountable. Fourth, the end of the war and the role of this Council. Ukraine has repeatedly called on this Council to adopt a resolution demanding a full, immediate, and unconditional ceasefire. Our people deserve to feel free and protected. A ceasefire is an essential prerequisite for meaningful negotiations. It is the first step toward halting Russia's war of aggression and creating space for diplomacy. We reiterate our call on the Council members to adopt a resolution demanding a full, immediate, and unconditional ceasefire. Mr. President, today the world marks World Children's Day and reaffirms that every child has the inherent right to life, to grow up in a safe environment, to preserve their identity, to remain with their family whenever possible, and to enjoy their childhood and future. Yet in Ukraine, Russia's contribution to this global observance is the bodies of Ukrainian children pulled from beneath the rubble. Since the beginning of the full-scale invasion, almost 700 children were killed. More than 2,000 have been wounded. Tens of thousands have been forcibly transferred and deported. We cannot bring back the children whom this war has already taken. We cannot undo the horrors that Russia has inflicted on Ukrainian boys and girls. But there is one thing we can still do, and must do together. We can stop the abduction of Ukrainian children. We can end this crime now, before more young lives are stolen, before more families are torn apart. That is why Ukraine has presented to UN member states the draft UNGA resolution, Return of Ukrainian Children. Its message is clear and simple and contains of three key elements. The Russian Federation must ensure the immediate, safe, and unconditional return of all Ukrainian forcibly transferred or deported children. The Russian Federation must cease without delay any further practices of forcible transfer, deportation, separation from families, change of personal status, including citizenship or adoption, and indoctrination of Ukrainian children. The Secretary General is requested to exercise his good offices and take all necessary steps to facilitate the return of Ukrainian children. The vote will take place in early December, and we call on all member states to support this concrete humanitarian initiative. I thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of Ukraine for the statement.